Well, we say hello and welcome to everybody hanging out back at home as we get ready to rock and roll just one more time with the Area Cup Series live on the IDK Player YouTube channel. I'm John Ramos, Hunter Sleppy on pit road as we prepare for Countdown to Green. Lot to talk about heading into this race, lot to talk about from a driver's standpoint. So let's bring it to the booth here in Nashville, Tennessee and get everything ready for round number 4. Hunter Sleppy, welcome as we get ready to rock and roll. Watkins Glen, a couple changes to the rules from what we were used to earlier in the season. And the big thing for you, I would say, is the no cautions.
Yeah, so this is just for road courses only. There's no yellows just because it would take a little too much time. And road courses tend to be a little more chaotic with incident points and what have you. So it'll be interesting seeing how they score the wreck score because we still have a lot of drivers still serving penalties from New Hampshire a couple weeks back. From what I can tell, there's about 6 guys with DOLs if they show up, 3 guys with drive-throughs, and those are going to be crucial. So Ford Martin, Philip Groner, Jonathan Evans, if they're all here tonight, they all have to serve a drive-through, and that's very crucial because with no yellows, that basically takes you out of contention for the race without anything happening to, say, 15 or 20 cars in the field. Doubt it will be that way. Looking through in the previous history, usually whoever's inside the first 2 rows tends to dominate and lead out. Scioli won here back in season 4. He led 18 laps from the 2nd position. And then Cameron Hearn back in season 1. He won it from the 3rd spot, led 27 laps. So not really a whole lot to talk about, but road courses tend to be interesting here. This is our first of 2. We go to Coda in race number 11. So it'll be interesting seeing who the contenders and the pretenders are at the Finger Lakes track.
We're about 7 minutes till qualifying gets started. If I'm not mistaken, there was a driver that filed a protest against the penalty, which then still resulted in him having to drive through for this evening's race. How does the appeal work, and is it common for appeals to be granted?
So it's not as often as it used to be. It's maybe once or twice in the season throughout the series we'll have protests happen. So usually it'll be an independent group of 3 individuals who are not related to the series whatsoever. Like they don't have any favoritism or any say in that. It could be guys who are in other series or outside of the series that have no control over it, just people outside of the board. So you can either pay to have your appeal with actual money, or I believe it's 20 or 25 driver points, and not all the time they go through, but I guess this time it didn't go through, so they lose the money and or points if they choose to do so. So it'll be interesting seeing how they overcome this battle.
Gonna be fun to see. Guess what? Oh, check that. We're gonna be battling some crutches tonight on my own side. I know we're gonna have viewers in the chat watching out for that. The big thing to look at least heading into this race, no cautions, 50 laps. Spoke with some teams. They're not really sure how they're gonna put this strategy. Tire wear, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. We've seen before with the next gen, this low profile tire and how hard the compound is. It's not going to make that big of a difference here at Watkins Glen, but it's going to be really a question of fuel. When do you come in? Some said they're going to split it halfway. Other teams are still keeping that notebook under wraps. Spoke with 609, spoke with Solar Flare, hung out with Bowie and his group, and everyone's really still having that big question mark leading in because of one big thing. When we start the race, we head down into turn 1, brace for impact. As many times as you can get ready for strategy and get in the checkered flag, you still have to make it past lap 1, turn 1. With that being said, Hunter, what have you heard from other teams?
I've just heard guys complain about usually guys who aren't really into road course racing, or they don't usually do well. They're dreading this race. They're going to dread Coda, but they have to power through. They have to push through. So really, it's about when you want to make your pit stops. I know tire wear should be interesting. I know in the past there really wasn't that much of a concern, but I think they've made some adjustments to it in the most recent update that they had. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But guys are going to have to probably undercut the big dogs like Jake Nichols, mentioned James Scioli, Logan Clampit if he's here. It should be a fun race to look at with it being caution-free.
It's going to be very fun to see. So we've already had one caution-free race today, or excuse me, one caution-free race this year, that being Daytona. This 100% set. We start the race with the green flag. The next flag after that will be the white flag, followed by the checker. This is going to really open up an opportunity for some switches in, I would say, the point system, as well as maybe a win in your end scenario. Yes, Dylan Alt still quickest, and right now he's shown to be the best driver, race in, race out. If I'm not mistaken, we're getting to the quarter mark of the playoffs, or should I say the regular season before the playoffs. Scioli, Nichols, Matheson, Brochute. We've seen the same names up front. Logan Clampit just went to victory lane. Early in the season, it looked to be just about the underdogs. But now we're starting to see that stretch where, yes, the underdogs that we thought, I would say aren't really anymore. Hall, 9th quick, Springer up there in 8th. Who has been the standout to you, Hunter? And who's someone that you think we could see stretch it out in the final maybe 3 or 4 races of the regular season to be granted that playoff spot?
Yeah, so we're past the quarter mark of the season. The 2 guys that have really stood out to me, they're the top 2 in the standings. I mean, they've been near each other for pretty much the entire season. That's Dylan Alt, John Hall. They both have a win to their name. They both have 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Hall is only 8 points behind Dylan Alt in the point standings. Mentioned some guys still looking for wins like Seth Knoll, James Scioli, Jake Nichols, those from the not 609 Solar Flare group, thinking about the Pro Series team that they're on. Also looking at Josh Codle, name that I really didn't think would be up there just because I'm not familiar with him, but he's up there. Adam Cabot looking to have a bounce back week, down 4 points positions. Connor Horn, he's made the move up to 10th in the standings, so +5 for him after that. Patrick Moose as well. He's been making some ground, and then obviously Logan Clampit, talked about him earlier. He's now inside the top 20 in points, so with his win, if he stays in the top 20, he'll be locked into the postseason. And then some guys who I think that can make a push. Look out for Travis Beckner. Beckner tends to usually run well on road courses, so keep an eye on him, and then keep an eye on, let's go with Frankie Barroso. He's a name that's really stood out to me. He's almost in the top 10 in points without any top 5s or top 10s to his name. Look for the first of many to happen tonight at Watkins Glen.
You mentioned Josh Codle. I think that's the one I want to hone in on, and it's mainly because I feel like he's heading into this season a little bit unknown. Lucky Duck, one of the better-known Lucky Duck drivers was actually Douglas Newbigging, who isn't running an area this year, looks to come back for the next season. But with Codle, I liked his performance at Indianapolis. You know, he was running up front, making some moves. He was one of those Lucky Duck guys that I felt like could have made something work. You still saw Logan Clampit go to victory lane. But I would say the biggest underdog, at least out of the top 20 that I see on the left side of my screen, it's going to be Codle, the most interesting one. How about Connor Okredzic? Up there in the top 10 as well. Connor Horn, now very much well known on this channel with 2 e-ticket appearances, running an NR. Solar Flare, that's going to be the big one because into Daytona, they look like the team to beat. And you may be saying, oh, well, that's a super speedway. You know, things change when they hit the road courses, they hit the ovals that are flat, and there's a lot of braking. But I would say right now, I would like to see a little bit more out of Solar Flare, minus the fact that James Scioli is doing a really good job of holding that team together.
Yeah, Scioli, he's really picked up the pace this year. I mean, usually it's a pace that we see out of Jake Nichols. And I mean, Jake Nichols only has 2 top 10s to his name this year, which is insane. He has yet to finish inside the top 5 this season. Just shows how stacked this roster is. And James Scioli, he's got a top 10 in each race. He's got 2 top 5s. So he's trying to stick it up to the guys like Dylan Alt and John Hall, but still looking for that win. Mentioned the last time we were here, Scioli took it to victory lane. Could see that happen tonight. And if we do, John, and it couldn't just be him, it could be anyone else that hasn't won yet, but that'll be the 5th different winner in 5 races. It
very much would. And this is a trend I would like to see. I would like the playoffs to start with just drivers that have gone to victory lane. But then again, what we want is not what could happen. Racing's so unpredictable that you just never know what's going to come around on every turn. Through the S's and the bus stops in the Finger Lakes region of America, welcome to Watkins Glen. Welcome to the next round here of the Area Cup Series. We get ready for qualifying, 10 minutes of qualifying. We got a lot of time to speak with drivers during this qualifying effort. And the big question that's going to be, well, without there being any cautions, if you're up there inside the top 3, the top 4 of qualifying, you have the best opportunity to make it out alive at turn 1, find your way through the sweepers of the S's, and put yourself in contention. Who should we chat with and hear from as they get ready to roll?
Looking through, let's talk with Josh Codle, see what he's up to.
You know what? I mentioned Codle earlier. I mentioned how excited I am to see what Codle can do. I like that idea. Ooh, but there's one problem. Josh Codle is deafened, so we can't go ahead and speak with him. Let's see. You know what? I spoke with Bowie. I'm really interested about him. I'm going to change that up. How about we speak with Jeremy Miller?
Well, let's go for it.
Let's do it. Miller, are we allowed to speak to you during your qualifying run?
I'm gonna run like shit either way, so sure.
All right, man. Watkins Glen, no cautions, 50 laps. You don't sound very excited heading into this race. And if I'm wrong, how am I wrong? And if I'm right, please elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too good at the whole turning left thing, so once you start to add these right turns in, I get a little more behind everyone else, and it just becomes a little more of a struggle.
Okay, qualifying. If you were, you know, heading in with, I would say, the best mindset, what's the idea here, and what's the outlook heading down into turn one?
Yeah, I just want to set a clean lap, honestly, like start in front of the ULs if I can, and just need to avoid the 1X coming here out of 1, which is a lot harder than I feel like it should be, but we have some tight track parameters here. And I'm wrecking. Oh boy.
Oh no. We don't want to
see that. We get a second lap, so that's okay.
You get a second lap. Now you got 10 minutes to work with. Are you gonna wait for anybody to see what they do? Maybe head back out there? What's the idea on that?
We held on to it, so we're gonna keep going. Hope that heat in the tires helps a little. I know this car is where you heat the tires, and they kind of just get better as you go. So just gotta find grip somewhere. Maybe I'll find what they had in practice somehow throughout the 50 laps tonight and get a little better than the, I think, 31st we were in practice.
Oh man, all right. We're gonna go ahead and drop you back. We'll continue to get updates. Dylan Alt goes top of the board. Slumpy, I'm very happy that we get a full 10 minutes. This is the opportunity to speak to as many drivers. Can we speak with Alt? Should we speak with Alt?
I think we should, but before we do, I just want to touch on something. I was looking to see where Jeremy Miller was in the point standings, because usually, like last year, his average finish was 26, so he really wasn't that high up. This season, he's got a top 5 and 3 top 10s, and he's 6th in the point standings. So, I would assume he'd have a little bit more confidence. I mean, it is a road course, but he's had a very underrated season so far.
He really has. And I think this is actually something that I've heard out of a lot of drivers setting this race. Not a lot of confidence, but not every driver knows that. So with that being said, as long as you're running a little bit better than everyone else, you know, you can still walk away with a decent finish. That's the goal out of some of these drivers that aren't used to the road courses. Walk away with the finish that you can be proud of. And at the end of the day, if it's a top 10, it's a top 10. If it's a top 15, it's a top 15. I would say for some, they really be loving top 5, maybe even a little bit better than that. All Hall, Brochu, Curran, Knoll. That is the top 5 currently as of this moment as they continue to work their way around the 7 turns of Watkins Glen. Just about 6 minutes remaining to the ones filing in back at home. We say hello and welcome. You're watching the Area Cup Series as it's League Night in America for this Monday night edition of NR Night in America. You see Jonathan Evans. You know what? We didn't get to speak to Josh Codle before he deafened. He's back. Codle, John Ramos, you got a copy. And let's see if we can try to get him one more time. Codle, John Ramos, you got a copy.
What's up, man?
All right, hey. Kind of underrated heading into this race, and I think you performed very well at Indianapolis. Currently 10th provisionally. You got about 5 minutes left of sitting and waiting. What's the idea right now heading into the green flag?
Honestly, just survival. This place, I'm very nervous about going through 1 and 2 because everybody's going to try to get all their momentum up, and some people are going to take some dive bombs, some people are not. If you can make it through that corner, I think we have a good race, and I put myself in a decent position to at least get a top 10 out of this. So, we'll see.
All right, going to be a lot of fun. But the thing is, there's no cautions. Are you going to be looking more in your mirror heading into turn 1 or more out of that windshield?
Definitely mirror for me, dude. Somebody's going to throw it in there, and you just got to be ready.
All right, that's going to be big. And you'll be starting 10th, so, or at least provisionally, that's now changed to 12th. Still, realistically, you're going to have more drivers behind you than in front, so going to be very, very interesting to see how this all works on out. For the NR Night in America viewers, yes, we do have NR Night in America tomorrow night. Still, TBD on what car track combos we'll be running. Dylan Alt goes quick time. Jake Nichols goes third. Hunter, James Scioli has a brand new scheme. Did you see that?
I'm looking at it right now. It looks very reminiscent to the colors that Jake Nichols is usually running, but he's got a new paint scheme in the Pro Series as well. But they usually say that green is bad luck on a race car, and I don't know if his color was green, at least for the Cup side of things. I know for the Pro Series it changed to green, but liking the colors, and hopefully it'll be quick for the race.
I'm hoping it'll be quick as well. He still has not undeafened, so we'll go ahead and drag a driver that's streaming in his Discord server. I'm so sorry, Jake Nichols, you're sitting P3, but you're joining us in the booth. Nichols, John Ramos, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, I know you're streaming to the Discord. Apologies on that.
Oh, you're fine.
Solar Flare, I feel like it's really a mixture of glass half full for some of that team and glass half empty. What is your current opinion on how the season has gone from a team standpoint?
You know, very up and down. I'm very happy that we're only 35 points, I think, out of first in the team title right now, but I've certainly had a lot of downs to start the season instead of ups, which we want to win, but just making, getting good finishes is so important early in the season, and we've been the opposite. I'm glad that we've still made it, kept it pretty close, but as a team, with how we performed on road courses last season, we're looking for more, and hopefully we can do so tonight. We had a 1-2-3, maybe both races. I don't remember if it was a 1-2-3 and a 1-2-4, but either way, we performed great last season on these style of tracks, so hopefully tonight is going to start a good trend for all of us at Solar Flare.
All right, looking at it right now, I think 44 drivers have entered. Of the 43 that will take the green flag. Road course racing, is this an advantage for you or is this a disadvantage?
I think pretty much an advantage. I mean, I think we're going to have a lot of guys up front that are all around the same speed, and it's just going to be who's the most consistent. So hopefully I can do that and maybe get the 73 car back in victory lane for the first time this season. But it's going to be a good show, I think. We're going to, hopefully we put on a really good brawl and have a really good race up front with really everybody. There's so much talent up there, and it's going to be nuts.
All right, going to be a lot of fun. Solar Flare looking for a big-time win here at Watkins Glen. Hunter Sleppy, we're down to about, I want to say a minute, maybe a minute and a half left before we go ahead and pull the checker flag out here in qualifying. Anyone shocking right now that's not qualifying well? And one of the things the viewers have asked about, any way we can know who's on the bubble of being in and out based off of qualifying?
For open cars, I'll have to double check on that because there's still some guys who have yet to put down a time. But as far as shocking, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Travis Beckner would be a little bit higher on the board. He usually runs well on these road courses. I mean, we'll probably see that Tuesday and Thursday for Trucks and Pro Series. But as far as Cup, I'm a little shocked. I thought he'd be a little bit higher up. As far as top 5, top 10, not really that surprised. Dylan Alt, only shock is that Jake Matheson is here again, not full-time this season, so he's just racing whenever he can. So it's usually unannounced, so a little shocker that he's here. Throws a little monkey wrench into things. Could be a different winner. As far as a guy who's not contending for playoffs or a championship whatsoever, that being the Season 6 champion. I think Connor Horn just went into the top 10. Sam Brochu, I think that's a crucial one because he's got an EOL, so that's going to be interesting in how Brochu handles this one. Jonathan Evans, Philip Turner, Ford Martin, again, those guys drive-throughs, so they gotta go through pit road immediately. So, yeah, that's about it. I know Matthew Bell, Michael Cran, they were close to a top 10. Payton Howell as well. He has an EOL, so that's going to change how he enters into this race.
All right, we get ready to roll at this moment. Check that. We're going to have the 5-minute warm-up to figure out who's in, who's out, and then we'll grid them here at Watkins Glen. Top of the board, Dylan Allen. He just seems to be the favorite. Race in, race out. He does have a win under his belt, but he also lost one. Logan Clampit, Indianapolis, multi-time winners. It has yet to happen this season here for the Area Cup Series, but we have seen a race winner that is different from round 1 to round 2 to round 3, all the way up to where we are now here at Watkins Glen. 50 laps. Fuel, well, we're not really sure about that. That's really a question and a wonder. A 122.5 mile race. This is round number 5. You know, let's ask the chat. Do we see 5 different winners in 5 different races? I mean, that is something that we have to consider. I asked the viewers down below already, actually, should I say, do we see a new winner? Which I guess is basically the same question. 70% say yes. 30% say it's going to be a repeat winner. For the ones that think it's going to be a repeat, who do you think it's going to be? For the ones that think it's going to be a brand new winner, go ahead and ask down below, or should I say reply down below as well. Who should we grab in one last interview? Hunter, who do you got?
Did we get Codle? Is he undefined?
We did get Codle.
Okay. Gotta bring up Jake Matheson because we really haven't seen him too much this season. I believe this will be his second start of the season. Third. It'll be his third start of the season. Yep, Jake Matheson.
Let's go ahead and see if we can grab Jake Matheson. And he's muted. Oh my goodness. Not able to get Matheson. He is muted. You know, I think we actually... What about someone else? No, I got one. I got one. You need to go ahead and pick.
Okay. Let's talk with Payton Howell because he has that EOL and his 13th, I think he started 13th starting position is going to be out the window, so that'll change up his strategy and how he attacks this race.
All right, let's hear from him. Howell, John Ramos, you got a copy? All right, listen, you're starting this race with an EOL. Well, because of that, how do you attack 50 laps without a caution?
Patient. That's about all you can be here. So just be patient, not make any dumb moves. Drop through, try to get as far up as you can. I'm hoping for a top 15. Last road course race we had an area job. I started in the back and 12. So hopefully we can repeat that for the top 15.
All right, pretty interesting. 2 minutes left here of warm-ups. And the next thing you got a question. I mean, I've asked, I think, everyone at this point. And the reason why I keep asking is because you just do not know. Lap 1, turn 1. This can be a very long night. It can be a very short night. Is that worrisome for you?
Not really. I'm just gonna come to take it easy in the one, let everybody wreck, and well, if they do, and drop by it and try to pick up a few spots there and make it a little bit easier on myself.
Minute 30 remaining. Good luck to you, Payton Howell, as we get ready to roll the dice just once more. Hunter, just over a minute. That's what we got. Watching these drivers, guess who went quick time, at least during warm-up? Logan Clampit. We haven't seen anything out of Dylan Alt. I still think Logan Clampit has a shot to go back-to-back. Mainly because riding that high from Indianapolis was really textbook there. And he's also known for overperforming expectations on the road course in times past.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good starting spot. I believe he's starting 5th, but he's still got to go through Jake Nichols, James Scioli. Scioli's got the ball rolling. Jake Nichols has yet to finish inside the top 5 this season. Tonight could be a good night for that. Mentioned Jake Matheson. This will be his 3rd start of the season. And looking through, he's only got 1 top 5, 1 top 10. So obviously he's going to have to prove a lot here. At least prove the doubters wrong, I should say. And then Dylan Alt. I mean, Dylan Alt, he's been a contender almost every week this season so far. John Hall, I'm not sure if he'll be up there, but as far as consistency goes, he's been consistent this season. He's been second fiddle, at least on 3 occasions, does have a win, but Logan Clampit's got a pretty good shot at going back in the victory circle.
Final seconds remaining before we grid them up here at Watkins Glen. Race number 5, a great partnership between the IDK Player YouTube channel and Area Cup Series. Get excited every time for the Area Cup Series. So much excitement leading on in. 43 drivers, another 43 car field, and that's one thing I have to applaud you guys on, how you guys have made the charters work, and still 43 cars heading into race 5. Most leagues struggle to get over 25 cars heading into the 5th race of the season, so clearly very dedicated drivers every single Monday night. Dylan Alt, he will be leading us to green. Jake Matheson will be right with him, and we'll get ready to let the whole world know that starting lineup. You're watching the Area Cup Series live on the IDK Player YouTube channel. I'm John Ramos. Hunter Sleppy hanging out with us on pit road. Just joining on in, I'm going to give you that update so everybody knows this will be a caution-free race. And no, I'm not betting the life savings on that. It is an actual rule for the road courses. So keep that all in mind. Lap 1, turn 1. It's going to be exciting. I still think we're going to see a lot of great drivers. A funny trend that has been spoken upon from the viewers back at home is, where's the Fords? We have a Ford in the top 15 to start this race. So there you go, Josh. Yes, Josh Codle doing just that in the 15th spot. They've lined up. They get ready to roll. Let's see your starting lineup for round number 5, presented by Central Mobile Homes, Inc. Dylan Alt, Jake Matheson. That is row number 1, Chevy and Toyota. Ready to rock right with us. Row number 2, Jake Nichols and James Scioli. Scioli, brand new scheme for this week. Drafty car, actually, an update on that for the ones wondering back at home. Yes, the Solar Flare team, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is the 73 of Nichols, is in drafty car. Logan Clampit, John Hall, row number 3 with Sam Brochu. Did I say that right, Mr. Hunter?
I think it's Brochu.
Brochu. Have I been calling him Brochu? I think I've been calling him Brochu. Me having to go ahead and fix that. Brochu, if I've said that correct. I'm so sorry to the family back at home that had me maybe spoil that name with Seth Knoll to his outside. Row 5, Connor Horn and Connor Okrezik, super late model driver down the southeast. Row number 6, Matthew Bell and Michael Curran line up, while row 7 has Payton Howell heading to the rear and Ricky Springer just to what would have been his wing. Josh Codle and Bailey Turner. Bailey Turner kicking the dust to the back. Row 9, Philip Groner and Justin Opelinger. Row 10, David Weishart and Adam Cabot. With row number 11, me and Travis Beckner and Frankie Moroso. Row 12, Jonathan Evans and Patrick Moose. Row 13, Reese Schaefer and Barrett Polimus. Row 14 has Jeremy Miller with Blaze McKinney in 87. Row 15, Seth Berger lined up with Cosmin Yonashinu. Yonashinu once again, another week heading to the rear. Row 16 has Max Service and Hayden Swank. With row 17 coming out with Bryce Senesac in 09 and Tyler Nichols in the number 9. Row 18 has Tanner Betha and Brett Bunkari. With row 19 having Jacob Brower and Lee Norton. Row 20 has Garrett Grant and Ben Pierce. Row 21, Brandon Bowie with Edward Shearer going to the rear. Row 22, Brad Slaughter Jr. and Ed Robertson. And what would have been that alone, I believe Slaughter has been bumped, if I'm not mistaken. That's still to be determined, because Ed Robertson is rolling on the racetrack and Brad Slaughter Jr. is not. That is your field of machines ready to roll here with the Area Cup Series race number 5. Hunter, final moments before we see the green.
Yeah, just to clarify, Slaughter is the only DNQ from this race. Shearer, I believe, is here. I don't know if he'll be making many laps, but looking for at least for my pick, I think the 7 Scully is going to come through, get that win, and I also think Jake Nichols gets his first top 5 of the season.
And that's what we expect. 50 laps of action. Hold your breath. Lap 1, turn 1, as always on road course racing. On the iRacing simulator, it could be Area, it could be Enter 9, it could be the Coca-Cola Esports. The beauty of sim racing is you never know what to expect. We have seen wildness, we have seen flawless racing from times past. What does Watkins Glen bring us as we light the fuse from upstate New York? One sideways and into the grass to 73. Jake Nichols fires back off to the S's. Tyler Nichols, clean and green. With no mistakes out of Mose, Nichols drops back to 20th. Jake Matheson nose to tail with race leader of Dylan Hall. And at least a projection early on with these drivers knowing a caution will not wave tonight. On eggshells, tiptoeing from turn 1 through the S's to the carousel of turn 5. Through 6, heading to the short chute, back to turn 7. How it's been what feels like the last 2 or 3 weeks. Dylan all up front in the number 47 on the left side of the screen, but driving the number 3 once again here in area for the Cup Series. Jake Matheson in second. Logan Clampit, the winner at Indianapolis, rides around in third. James Scioli, oh, he could pounce there as Clampit got loose to the rumble strips. Check it. Not going to happen. Keeping distance from him in that 42. Left side of your screen, you can see where all 43 drivers are currently on the racetrack. If you're just tuning on in, it's rush hour from the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Live from Watkins Glen, round number 5 of the Area Cup Series. Oh, Clampit a handful, and this time Scioli could pounce. Gets the nose underneath the 42, but Clampit will keep the door shut. Deeper in the field, we talked about drivers that had to come to pit road. We saw this at Indianapolis due to penalty. Jonathan Evans, Philip Groner, 2 drivers that had to do so. 40 drivers within, I want to say, about 16 seconds of each other as the 2 drivers with penalties getting a drive-through on the start. Mostly single file, a little deeper in the field, action. As Jake Nichols tries to slice his way through, make up all the track position lost from the mistake in turn 1 on the opening lap. Oh man, really over braking. Turn 1, you saw the right front lock up. Then the laps up to the 15th position. David Weishart to 14th, Travis Beckner to 13th, Michael Curran in 12th. He's got Codle, he's got Okrezik. And think about these next-gen cars, there's so much ground effect. With this machine, you can really fight well onto the strips, being more aggressive than what you would see with a Gen 6 car. You just saw it there, Curran. In the back end of Codle, Codle makes one slip up and Curran can pounce. So maybe that is Travis Beckner, a deep drive into turn 6. The 2-for-1 special, the opposite for Josh Codle. Goes from 11th to 13th. Matthew Bell up to the 10th position. Has raced in an e-ticket event here on the IDK Player YouTube channel. That being the Florida 500 just a couple months ago. We talked about Okrezik, now he's in the 9th position. Not much change, at least how the driver's running closer to the front of the field. Here's Jake Matheson. Pretty early to look at the lap for lap. Haven't gone 4 laps in. But you can already see a consistent flow of Dylan Hall pulling away. Oh man, did he catch that guardrail or was that just a glitch on the iRacing point? And I believe it was just an impact that some may have thought, because the sound effect went off but no underlining damage on that Toyota Camry. Logan Clampit back to 3rd, James Scioli back in 4th, and the field has single filed out. Strategy is going to be an interesting one if you're Jake Matheson. How do you overcome the deficit of nearly a second and a half to Dylan Hall? Logan Clampit riding around in 3rd, everyone trying to figure out what to do with 46 laps to go. So a lot of time to roll with. Here's Patrick Moose. Frankie Barroso back in 19th. Deeper in the field, Payton Howell will get under the, I believe that is Swink in 70. Yes, it is. Get under the Hayden Swink car. So will the 48 of Jacob Brower. Bowie, Cabot with service. This is for a 31st. This is for a 32nd. What's great about road course racing is you can look very deep in the field, and single file it could be for the first 12, 13, 14 spots. But you get back in the 30s and they're shuffling the deck, consistently making changes, making moves. Blaze McKinney, a new look for this race. Presenting the Toyota machine, not Midwestern Electric, for this running of round number 5 in the Area Cup Series. On his way into the 25th position. Tight down into turn 7. Schaefer in 17th. Miller in 16th. Josh Codle. Company, we talked about Jake Nichols making up spots. His mistake, it costed him some time, at least trying to get to the race lead, but he is now easily getting his way through this field. He's up to the 13th spot after a deficit of 20th. Beckner and Bell. Single filing out. Michael Curran, Connor Okrezik. Okrezik just clipping the grass on the exit of the bus stop. Seth Knoll. John Hall. Hall in distance to Connor Horn. 45 laps to go in this race. Area under full swing here in 2025 on the IDK Player YouTube channel. We welcome all that are hanging out with us. Great teams, great seasons so far with the Daytona race we had from Homestead in New Hampshire, Indianapolis. The drivers that have won so far this season, keep it in mind, Bailey Turner, John Hall, Dylan Alt, Logan Clampit. Only one driver has won a race this season from starting on the pole, that being Dylan Alt from New Hampshire. And also New Hampshire's the only race to see in overtime. So currently, yes, 2 races so far. Without the 5 that we've had, we'll go caution free. But there's that change coming north of Wilkesboro. A lot of drivers expect that. Following Watkins Glen, yes, north of Wilkesboro, Darlington, Chicagoland. 12 races in the regular season. Out of 17, we end it with the season finale at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The playoff races will be Bristol, Nashville, Las Vegas Auto Club, and once again, champion crown for the title at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Want to say thank you to everyone that's hanging out back at home, and a big thanks to Central Mobile Homes. Looking for a small or large home, a shed, or a triple crown trailer? Look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 29 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans, shed designs, and triple crown trailers available in Okeechobee, Clewiston, Sebring, and LaBelle. Head over to centralmobilehomeinc.com. Horn has been losing some time there to John Hall. Remember, Hall went to victory lane at Homestead Miami Speedway. And having a heck of a year, at least a heck of a start to his season, coming in from the Area Truck Series. What some may have thought was a fluke win was not at all. He's been very consistent within now what would be the first 5 rounds of this year. Seth Nolan 7th. We haven't really spoken much about him since his great run at Daytona, when Solar Flare really hooked together on the team side and elected not to look back. Ricky Springer chiming in, nose to tail. Now, they said track position was possibly going to be the name of the game. We've seen with this next gen before, when the drivers put themselves to the full limit, things get a little interesting. And by a little, I mean a lot. Within the final 10, 15 laps, the question of who's going to have the best shot at going to victory lane will be who can navigate in and out of pit road. Dylan Alt, he's been shown to do this already, and I believe about 3 races. Go out there, lead laps, don't look back. And that's exactly what he's currently doing as he is pulled to about a 2.5 second advantage. Who's lurking? That's Logan Clampit to that of Jake Matheson. Won't be no more. Clampit mistaken at the bus stop and loses all that positioning he had on the Matheson 01.
Coming down from pit road, had a multi-car wreck. I'm not sure if we caught it. It was coming out of the carousel. Payton Howell, Seth Berger, Blaze McKinney got caught up in it. I think everyone's on pit road now, but Payton Howell not too happy about what happened.
We're going to watch back.
We're back on lap 7. It's coming out of the carousel.
Great update from Hunter Sleppy. We're now riding on board with Payton Howell as he works his way through the S's. And yes, usually this would be a caution. We would get that update of a caution and we'd go watch the replay. Sleppy, great opportunity with him on pit road. Here's Berger 77. Here's Howe in 52. Did you say it was in the bus stop? Oh, it was the exit of the carousel and pow goes Payton Howell. Blaze McKinney, heavy damage. Man. Watch back. This is riding on board with McKinney's 87. Berger just got loose. And for McKinney, there was nowhere to go. Let's watch back again. Seth Berger, 77, using the runoff of the carousel, which would be for the second part of the longer road course, or should we say the full course of Watkins Glen, the NASCAR Cup Series and the Area Cup Series, using the cut of the boot. And it's very bumpy on that part of the surface. I think at one point, actually, this was all grass when you look way back in the day, maybe back to 2007. And yeah, car gets upset, four-wheel hop, Payton Howell. They just heard the engine expire right away. He's very much out of this race.
Damage terminal for both guys. They're not in the Discord channel anymore. They called it a night.
And that's how quickly it can happen. Hunter, any update from any other drivers? What are they saying?
So I mentioned right before we went green how I think Jake Nichols would get his first top 5 of the season, and he immediately spun out lap 1. It was a self-spin. I wanted to apologize to him. I think I had a commentator's curse on him. He said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll be top 5 by the end of this one." So Jake Nichols very confident in his automobile. Everybody else just quiet over the radio and just finding their P's and Q's for the most part.
All in 6, Horn in 5th, Scioli back to 4th. Lined up, loaded in. Matheson nearly a 4-second disadvantage to Dylan All. Look at that. All has just been on one tonight. His best time at 1:11.502. Jake Matheson's best time 2:10 slower. A 1:11.785. Now, we have yet to see a driver lead every lap and go to victory lane this year. Dylan Owen, at least early on, he is on track for that. There's Scioli, there's Connor Horn. John Hall back there in 6th. Seth Knoll with Ricky Springer. Nose to tail, looking for an advantage. Here comes Hall to the inside of Horn. And I'd say so. Connor Horn will drop back a spot. John Hall will take advantage and finds his way up inside the top 5. Don't look now. Knoll and Springer toe-to-toe through the S's. Seth Knoll advantage. Up and over the strips. There's Clampit P3. There's Scioli P4. And we want to say hello and thank you to all the viewers back at home that have been hanging out with us on this beautiful evening. In the sim, should we say late afternoon, you're watching the Area Cup Series live on the IDK Player YouTube channel. This being round number 5. Horn and Knoll, 6th and 7th. Springer in 8th. Curran in 9th. We got Jake Nichols rounding out back into the 11th position. We look, we wonder on strategy to see what could possibly be changing at least later on. But these drivers are going to have to pit at least once. We'll see if we can get an update from some on how this race has been running. You know, we may actually be able to talk to Dylan Alt live with his nearly 4-second advantage. All, if you want me to throw you back, I can, but it's John Ramos.
I'm chilling right now, yeah.
Well, I might as well talk to you. You have a blazing advantage, a 3.5-second lead with 37 laps to go. What is this car? What about you? Are you used to road course racing? I believe so, because you won the 2.4 hours with us a couple years back.
Yeah, I like stock cars and road courses a lot. This track, for instance, I don't really like. I like Daytona road course a lot better. But right now I'm just managing my tires, trying to be consistent.
Managing his tires, yet pulling away. Doesn't like Watkins Glen that much. Not as much as the Daytona course, but he's absolutely putting on a clinic. Very interesting indeed. Got to ask you live. On the area side, we have you as number 47. Are you moving to the 3 full-time?
My team, they wanted me to drive the 3, but the league is not letting me drive the 3. I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, it's really up to them. I have honestly no idea. As confused as you are.
Okay. 3.5-second advantage. Let's talk strategy. I know right now you have the advantage, but when are you looking to come to pit road?
Ooh, I'm probably gonna stretch it as much as possible and see what others do.
So long pit. You're gonna long pit before anyone else.
Yeah, I'm probably not even gonna take tires, just feel.
What's the tire wear been like? I'm guessing not very well, just because you're not thinking about taking tires at all.
Yeah, usually this car, oh no, I'm missing the corner now. Usually in this car, after like 10 laps or so, that's probably where you're the tightest. And then maybe after 20 or so laps, you ended up actually going faster. But maybe something's changed, I don't know. Honestly, I'm just gonna wait it out and see what happens. And if we end up falling off too much, then I'll probably take tires. We'll just have to wait and see.
All right. Strategy for Dylan Alt. Go longer. And everybody else will continue to monitor and check that in. What server were you in?
What do you mean, what server?
Or should I say chat?
Solid rock performance.
Just wanted to go ahead and make sure. I know a couple of drivers that said I dragged them to the wrong one. Nearly 4-second advantage now for him. 35 laps to go. Won't be speaking to many drivers. Usually when they get to a pretty decent size advantage on the road course, we like to speak to them and just hear what they have to say. You were watching the battles. Clampit, Scioli, they're within ballpark range of each other, but not enough where you're going to start to see a dance. Same with Horn, with Hall, Nolan, Springer, also within the bubble of possibility. The next toe-to-toe, you go to Jake Nichols, who still has to be thinking to himself, what a change could have this race been if there wasn't that mistake lap 1, turn 1, from 20th to 10th. Now that's where he finds himself, and we'd like to close on in to the Michael Curran machine. Logan Clampit, first one to pit road, and he's got damage on the right side. And I want to say a hefty sum of that. I'm not sure when that did occur. We may have to get an update on that from Hunter Sleppy. The racing fun here at Watkins Glen. Logan Clampit, the first one to come on in. Sleppy, John Ramos, got a copy.
Yep, got you, loud and clear.
All right, we saw Clampit right side damage. We know this is going to be a track position race. He came in early. Any update from him, or is there just no chatter from that call?
haven't made it there yet. I was in Solar Flare when that happened. They were kind of shocked. Actually, no, not Solar Flare. Sorry, Solid Rock. They were kind of shocked that he pitted early. Didn't know if it was field strategy or not, but you mentioning right side damage, that might be why he came in a little early. I have no clue what happened to him. I could go and check for you in a minute to see what happened.
All right, good to know. 33 laps to go here from Watkins Glen. Anything from the other teams? What are they saying? We talked to all. He's planning to long pit everyone else with this advantage. And I believe we may have actually lost Hunter there. So we'll continue to go ahead and monitor and try to get him back. 33 to go will be 32 here at the Area Cup Series. So glad you guys are hanging out with us on this Monday evening. Boy, this race is flying on by as we continue to race here in the upstate region of New York. Still looking for changes, mostly ballpark drivers. Noel, Springer, Curran. Curran is going to soon to have company of Jake Nichols. Nichols lap for lap. Let's look at him here. He's been losing time to Dylan Alt, but when he gets toe-to-toe, that's usually where the time gets lost. Cleanish air, just about even. So that drafty car 73 on a roll. He's going to need a mistake out of, I think, at least the top 5 if he wants to see himself go to victory lane. Maybe best of that, top 3, top 4. Dylan Alt with this advantage, don't expect him to go ahead and speed on pit road at all. Michael Curran, one of the Lucky Duck drivers, up there in 8th. And this is the 4 we want to watch. The Sella Machines from John Hall in 03, Connor Horn in 67, Seth Knoll in the number 1, and Ricky Springer in the 51. That's ranging from 4th to 7th because they're starting to do this effect of going long and then shrinking together almost like a slinky, going back and forth, back and forth. One driver makes a mistake, the other one gets a little bit closer. Will we see toe-to-toe? That's soon to be the question.
Coming back with an update from pit road, John. It's just Logan Clampit, he's gambling. It doesn't have anything to do with the damage whatsoever. He's just gambling a little bit, that's all.
Gambling, huh? What advantage? I mean, there's no way he took tires.
From what I heard, he only took right sides, and that's probably where he had the right side damage on, but I could be wrong on that. Didn't really get too much from him. He just said that he was gambling.
Okay, so it's probably right side tires. Maybe fix the damage up, and with how long it would take for them to fill the car up to go the distance, you might as well get right side tires. So, you know what? I don't hate the strategy. He was somewhat in the top 5. I'm not going to say ballpark to Dylan Alt, because Alt is gone. 4 seconds, and he's continued to pull away. Does Jake Matheson try that idea? If you know Alt's going to be better than you, whether it's 4 or 5 corners out of this racetrack, you might as well try something. And I'm not against it. I'm really not against that strategy.
Yeah, they communicated that, guys. I was there in the channel with Jake Matheson. They had other people there confirming that Clampit was pitting and taking tires, so they relayed that information to him, but as of now, nothing yet from Matheson.
Good to know. Keep an eye on it. Elite Entertainment adds some life to the party this spring with Elite Entertainment located in Bowling Springs, South Carolina. Elite Entertainment provides high-quality band production to entertain at any location, including karaoke, singo, music bingo, and so much more. Visit the link tree at Elite Entertainment. And I believe, if you're not mistaken, Elite Entertainment, one of the big sponsors here of the Area Cup Series. Once again, look them up on Linktree with Elite Entertainment. And also go ahead and check out the High Banks podcast. Just 2 blue-collar guys, Nick and Alex, talking about NASCAR and more. New episodes with area drivers coming soon, available on Spotify. We talked about Hendry County Motorsports Park before. They are a replay sponsor with us, Hendry County Motorsports Park. You can join on in Saturday, April 12th to see the $1,000 to win Outlaw Force Spectator and more. Tickets are just $20 for adults, and kids ages 5 and under are free. Bring the family to the track with more family pack action, for, should I say family pack of 4. That is for $25. Come to see the racing at the southernmost dirt track in America, located in Clewiston, Florida, off US Highway 27. HendryRacing.com. Go ahead and support your local short track. I'm telling you, you're going to hope you did because we've seen some wild things with some racetracks closing down recently that we didn't expect, like Irwindale, Rockford Speedway up there in Rockford, Illinois, Irwindale being in Southern California. You just never know, including with the booming real estate markets really taking advantage of these areas. Go ahead and check out Entry County Motorsports Park. Maybe I do. I have family in, or maybe I should. I have family there in Central Florida. Maybe we should go ahead and check it out as well. Dylan Alt, Matheson, Scioli, Hall, that is the Fast Four. Horn, Knoll, Springer, and Curran being the Elite Eight. Bell and Beckner are now lined in to that top 10 and pit road. Well, it's getting a little bit interesting. Jeremy Miller, he's back in 14th. We haven't seen too much of a change there, but Jake Nichols back in that 25th position. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he did come to pit road. So some coming in early, others staying out. If you're going to beat Dylan Alt, when do you come to pit road? For some, they're expecting to do it early. And the thing is, if Alt waits continuous length to come on in, he's not going to be able to take right side tires. And we already know that tires aren't going to be that big of an issue tonight. But if you wait long enough, in theory, at some point, the right side tires may make a difference. Ricky Springer is in. Travis Beckner electing to stay out with Matthew Bell. .28 to go. Miller in 30th. Moose in 14th, Polimas in 15th, Barroso there in 16th. As they all line up, back once again, single file from the S's heading to the bus stop. Seth Knoll, P6, DS Connor Horn, dead ahead. An update here from Payton Howell. He put this on X, formerly known as Twitter. Well, short night for us, got KO'd out of the carousel. People not knowing how to live when faster guys are passing them on laps 7 out of 50. P42 it will be onto the place they won actually last year. Payton Howell won at North Wilkesboro Speedway, trying to see if he can go ahead and lock himself into the Area Cup Series playoffs. Matheson looking to lap for lap. One thing you've noticed, not been gaining. Scioli with John Hall separated. Some coming in, others staying out. Hello, Travis Beckner. Outside, Matthew C. Bell. Bell will yield, and Beckner says, welcome to the Elite Eight. Josh Codle. Sam Brochu. Jeremy Miller. Reese Schaefer. Patrick Moose. Frankie Barroso. Brandon Bowie. Ooh, Bowie Scott. Clampit just hounding down into the bus stop. And remember when this 42 pitted very early. Has come out well in front of Jake Nichols, who pit a couple laps later, but Clampit did have the track position over that 73 to begin with. He's going to try it again, well to the inside. .26 to go. Clampit on the move, up to 15th. Scioli to second because Matheson is now the race leader. Dylan Alt, he came to pit road, comes out in the 10th position. Well in front of Logan Clampit. So if you're Matheson, you're Scioli, do you come in this time? And some drivers said it, they were going to do halfway. Some teams said, oh yeah, we're going to come, we're going to pit about halfway, and we're going to run the rest of this race with it being a 50-lap run. Jake Matheson race leader. With that being said, this is the first time Dylan All has had to deal with dirty air all race. As long as he doesn't get caught up in someone else's mess, projected to go to victory lane. Keeper on. Beckner is in. Barroso and Moose battle for 11th. Actually just got the left sides down into the grass. Schaefer, Miller, Dylan All in 8th, Matthew Bell, Barron 7th, with check that, yes, Michael Curran in the 6th position. 24 to go. Matheson, race leader, provisionally still handed to Dylan All, who's down the 8th spot. 24 seconds. The only thing is, All is not closing on Jake Matheson. Matter of fact, he's actually losing time. And Alt said, I might as well be the last one to pit, go for the long run and see how it goes, but he's severely undercutted. Now these drivers, will that make a change in the outcome of this race? Scioli closes in on Matheson. You see the lap for lap there. Consistent growth from lap 24 to lap 26. Baby steps, yes, but enough to question. Now, the entry speed on Scioli vastly different than the exit speed of Jake Matheson, which makes the turnaround as interesting as it is. Curran, Bell, Dylan Alt, they're now heading to turn 6 with 23 laps to go. Miller and Schaefer. Patrick Moose getting up into the outside wall. Logan Clampit in no man's land, they're in 13th. When do these two pit? The question everyone's asking. Man, just sliding the rear end of that Toyota. All in 3rd, Connor Horn, Seth Knoll. There's Michael Curran. Matthew Bell in 7th. Ooh, Matheson had a handful well into turn 1. And the change of pace it will be between the top 2. Seth Knoll is yet to come to pit road. Let's go ahead and speak with Hunter Sleppy. Hunter.
Hello.
Any update there on the drivers and why did Dylan All pit so early?
I got complaints. I'm not sure if he was double bluffing or not, but apparently the tire temperature wasn't to his liking. So he decided to come in and change tires from what I'm concerned. But then again, could be double bluffing, but that's just from what I've heard throughout pit road. As far as everyone else, they're just, guys are trying to determine if tire wear is that important to where they need to change them. For the most part, some guys have opted not to change tires. They've just done fuel only. And then looking through the scanner, Bailey Turner and Ricky Springer had a little bit of a disagreement, which I forgot to mention a little earlier on. To keep an eye on Ricky Springer, he usually My memory's gone a little bit here for area in the Cup Series, but Ricky Springer does well on road courses. He drove up inside the top 10 and I believe he's made his pit stop, but he's just a little agitated with the way some guys are racing him. But for the most part, everybody else just worried about trying to make it on to pit road safe.
What about Matheson? What about Scioli? Are we expecting anything different from them?
Matheson, they were talking about him coming down pit road in a few laps. Scioli, nothing yet.
Good to know. Solar Flare, former iRacing Coke Esports team. As we continue to get updates from Hunter Sleppy. Hunter doing a great job there on pit road. We've had one incident in this race, that being with Payton Howell, Blaze McKinney, and the 77 of Seth Berger. Everything else, mostly clean, mostly green. Seth Knoll will get to pit road, and you just heard it recently, getting on a pit road without any issues. Hoping for that to be a consistent trend. 20 to go. This Hall hanging out, Curran. Scioli closing in on Jake Matheson down to a 130, a 129. But not a big switch up, coming to 19 laps to go. Next week, the Area Cup Series will be at Watkins Glen. With Watkins Glen, we're at Watkins Glen. Next week, the Area Cup Series will be at North Wilkesboro. First short track on the schedule as you see Jake Matheson come on in. North Wilkesboro Speedway. We always wondered if that was going to get a rescan on iRacing. It's based off the 1987 version of the racetrack. A lot of fun to watch a race there, whether it's with the Truck Series on iRacing, the Xfinity Series cars put on some fun. Same with the Next Gen, we've seen that before. But Wilkesboro, really excited for how that goes. And for the NR Night in America viewers, yes, we are back. Tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Still a question on where we will go, but nonetheless, we will be there. A third lead change in this race. Coming through pit cycles, James Scioli. The race leader, Dylan Alt, back there in the 4th position. He is moving his way through this field as drivers come to pit road. Matthew W. Bell in 3rd with John M. Hall. Add in their middle initials. The first letter of their middle initials, should I say. To the ad, mainly because their iRacing name adds in the M, adds in the W. Bell and Hall, 2nd and 3rd. Scioli, yes, in advantage. Hoping just to make sure they don't lose any true time to that of Dylan Alt, who has gained in at least 2 seconds to Scioli and company throughout all of the refreshes and the drivers coming in and out of pit road. Matthew Bell is in. Matheson electing to stay out. Brandon Bowie is in. And I go back to what we asked you, the viewers. Do we see a repeat winner? 28% said yes. 72% said new winner. And Dylan Alt still very much projected to find victory lane as the top 2 drivers hoping for something to go wrong and maybe be a miss on that 47. Scioli is in. And the winner from Homestead Miami Speedway will come back to the line to lead this lap. John Hall, top of the board. 4th lead change of the race. Matheson to Dylan Alt. You see the difference on time on the left side of your screen. Here's Dylan Alt just coming into view. Here's Jake Matheson just coming off turn 7. Logan Clampit has caught that of Jake Matheson. Yes, he did. Wow. The lap time's a little bit different. And actually, Logan Clampit is setting down the quickest lap times out of anybody in the top 4. Alt just set down a 1:12.188. Clampit set down a 1:11.913. Hey now, hey now. Now they're separated by roughly 6 seconds, which is a tall mountain to climb with 17 laps to go. But just look at how Clampit is sliding his way through the bus stop. Cuts it once, maybe twice. The slowdown will be gifted through the carousel. That's how badly he wants to make up time with this car. To go. John Hall to pit road. And Logan Clampit with Matheson will be back chasing the race leader of Dylan Alt with 16 laps to go. Let's look at the lap times. That time Clampit, yes, running a slower lap because of his mistake in the bus stop. Matheson at 10th. Should I even just say a tick slower than that of Dylan Alt? Scioli is back to 4th. Hall is back in 5th. Hunter, we were watching, and the fastest driver on track for a couple of moments was that of Logan Clampit. What do you hear from these drivers?
More people are pitting. It's still a mixed bag. Some are pitting and changing tires because they overcooked them in lap traffic. Others are saying, nah, screw that, I don't need tires. It's really 50-50 on whether guys want to come in and switch tires or not, just to save a couple of seconds on pit road. Jeremy Miller stopped too early in his box. He said that the road course brakes are a little too good on his car because he stopped a little too early. Didn't lose track position from that, but still guys coming in. I know Brent Pucari said that he was running it out till his fuel was out, which is right about now, 35-36 laps in. So I would assume he's made his pit stop or about to make his stop. But yeah, it's still a mixed bag on pit road whether guys want to switch tires out or not.
All right, 15 laps to go. I'm surprised that what should be a one-stop race for some now being forced to a 2. Anybody that we know that is at least considering?
For a 2-stop? No, not from what I know.
Okay. Interesting. 15 laps to go. And Jake Matheson actually very much closing in through the bus stop on Dylan Alt, but not enough to really cut the deficit to a shorter margin. Yeah, 3/10 here and there, but it's still nearly 6 seconds the difference between the driver of the 47 on the left side of your screen, the 3 on the track, and the 01 of Matheson, who's currently located in the second position. Dylan Alt, he said it. He's really not supposed to be running that number. I wonder if we should be changing our overlays to the 3 instead of him having that number 47. Logan Clampit, the damage to the right side. I wonder how much that impacted. I mean, it seems like it hasn't fully been an issue. He has a shot to catch, and if I'm not mistaken, pass Jake Matheson, as Matheson is really just about maybe 3 or 4 car lengths ahead of that 42. Six seconds and gaining. Here's Clampit. Bunny hops out of the bus stop and into the carousel. As all of everyone, should we say, continue to watch the final moments of this race. Dylan Alt has just had a textbook night. as they continue to watch, they continue to race. Scioli back and forth, John Hall back in 5th, Connor Horn in the 6th position. Knoll versus Springer. Ballpark range, we haven't really seen them go toe-to-toe. And with 13 laps to go, this is what you have available. For the ones that are wanting all things area, you can catch the Area Truck Series and the Area Pro Series on the Area iRacing Twitch. Head over to twitch.tv/Area iRacing to go ahead and check it out. Once again, you can check out the other series that will be racing this week over on their Twitch. For the NR Night in America fans, tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we'll be back live with NR Night in America, and that will end the streams of the week. There will be no stream this Friday. Once again, broadcasting in person, and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series will be racing at Bristol Motor Speedway, so keep that all in mind. 12 laps to go here from Watkins Glen. All lap traffic in front of them. Matheson, clean air. But Shell's brewing in front of the windshield of the 01. Man, Logan Clampit just cutting it razor edge to that guardrail. Scioli has Jonathan Evans just in front of him. Clampit right to Matheson. A shot indeed. Catching Matheson and passing Matheson, two different things, including with this next-gen car here at Watkins Glen. You can see very troublesome for Clampit. I feel like he gains most of his momentum and most of his opportunity through the bus stop. Watch here. Easy in. That time giving a lot of room from his right front to the guardrail. And not so easy out. Actually lost time that time around. Here's Scioli. No pressure from Hall. Connor Horn in 6. 36 drivers still left racing around this track. We look deeper in the field. Moose. Company. Adam Cabot. As Turner. Yonashinu. Hayden Swank with Groner, Senesac. Jacob Brower, Max Service. There's Evans on the speedway and Barrett Polimas. Back in the 30th position. Does have Brett Puncari in view. Mostly in the mirror, but not close enough to really make a change. Clampit keeps peaking, coming to 9 to go. I mean, he is all over the back end of Jake Matheson. Matheson sending it in deep over the strips. Clampit got to the back bumper. Looking underneath. Oh, maybe a switch up. peaked for the long way around. Not going to work. And this may be the final battle on track up inside the top 5 to the end of this race. Off the guardrail, you heard it. Dirt tracking. Clampit looks one way. Can he bite off the carousel? Clampit sideways to turn 7. Pulls it into the barrier and will lose all that time that he made up from the strategy call earlier in the race. Clampit back to 4th, Scioli into 3rd, and Jake Matheson can breathe with 8 laps remaining. Man. Pushed it to the limit. Hall and Horn. Nolan Springer, Nichols, Curran, that is the top 10. Jake Nichols able to rally after going from the top 4 to 20th, back up inside the top 10. Seven to go this time. There's Springer and Knoll. Here's Matheson, lap traffic ahead. Brower in 48. You got Swank and others, Senesac. Brower this time looking underneath Senesac. No, that's not going to work. But Matheson is trying to push his way through. No oncoming traffic, at least for 4 seconds. But doesn't want to ride in line for the final 7 laps. Here's Scioli. But Clampit, John Hall by himself, Connor Horn, Nolan Springer, really just all over each other. With 7 remaining, you see Springer sideways to the S's. Seven to go. Down to 6, you see Nichols and Curran, 9th and 10th. Just trying to wail at each other. Lock up, that is Clampit, and he's around. From a low to a high to now outside the top 8. Watch back. Damage on the left front of that 42. Should I say also the right front. Try to sneak in between 2 machines, and the rear end just went around. Beckner in 11th. Bell in 12th. Codle. Brochu. With Jeremy Miller. Miller's got Barroso.
Hey, John, coming through from pit road, I don't know if you saw it, but Logan Clampit literally flipped over coming out of the S's. He was caught up in some tomfoolery. So I think it was Jacob Brower spun out coming out of the S's, but carousel, I should say. This happened out of the carousel just a lap ago.
Let's see it.
Out and all of a sudden he was upside down. That's all I heard.
We saw him spin in turn 1. Now watching back, this is a replay. You said the S's, correct?
This is coming out of the carousel.
Well, this is out of the carousel.
I misspoke. I think it was lap 43. Lap 43 is when this happened.
There was a turn 1 incident. Oh, man. Yeah, there it is. Logan Clampit, end over end, side over side. Not the way he's going to want this one to finish. Let's dial it back again. It's Brower in 48. Sliding it sideways in the elite performance industry. Machine, and once Clampit caught, I believe that's a jersey barrier. Lined up, separating what would be the exit of the boot with the transition of the carousel into turn 6. End over end, kept it rolling, and then we saw him go for a slide in turn 1. Not the way he has wanted things to be for Dylan Alt. He's been singing show tunes since about, 30 laps to go in the race, as he's got nearly a 10-second advantage over that of Jake Matheson. 3 to go.
I was in the call with Solar Flare when that happened. James Guiley saw it happen out of his rear view mirror, and then Jake Nichols drove up on it with Seth Knoll. They said it was a code brown moment, and that it was the craziest thing they've seen so far.
Yeah. Well, I didn't expect a flip today. With how this race is gone. Any updates on her from any other drivers?
No, just some guys getting a little bit frustrated. Travis Beckner said something over the radio, and it kind of made Ed Robertson mad. But other than that, everybody else just minded their P's and Q's, trying to bring it home to the end. Yep,
coming to 3 laps to go now for some. Beckner in 10th. He does have a half a second advantage over that of Matthew Bell. Bell in 11th, and he is hunting down that Chevrolet. And a little bit further up towards the front with that 8-second advantage. We thought Matheson was going to continue to lose time and somewhat stop. With 2 laps to go, Dylan Alt will see 2 to go, should I say, this time by. Here at Watkins Glen, the most dominating performance we've seen out of the Area Cup Series at all in the 2025 season has Alt riding high in Chevrolet. I want to say thank you to everybody that's dropped a like on this stream. Continue to help us out. Once again, next week, Watkins Glen goes away for North Wilkesboro, which will be round number 6. And we must ask, early in this season, is Dylan Alt a surefire championship contender? Nobody has been a repeat winner this year. A lap and a half away from doing it, with 6, 7, 8 seconds of an advantage over the second place driver. Scioli nearly 11 and a half back. Hall, 16 seconds. Horn, 16 and a half. That will be a battle for position at the end of this race. Salamanca, 1 to go from Watkins Glen. Connor Horn, John Hall, 4th on the line. No mishap to turn 1. The fight will be through the carousel, down the back straightaway, and into the bus stop. Swain getting out of the way in 70. As Hall finds his way off the carousel. For the final time, make way because someone is going to win for the second time in 2025. New Hampshire brought the magic. Watkins Glen brought the domination. Dylan Hall off turn 7 for the final time, sees the checkered flag, and claims victory in Watkins Glen. Matheson second. Scioli will come home third. John Hall. Connor Horn. Horn won't get there in time. Nolan Springer, Jake Nichols, Michael Curran, all tightly knit together. No change, the fight for 10th. Bell underneath Beckner, won't happen. Codle and Brochu, Miller and Barroso fight for 14th. No bump, no run. Bowie, Clampit 17th. Reese Schaefer and others line up at the end. It's all Dylan Hall going to victory lane in round number 5. And we got to speak to him in the middle of the race of how this one went. Repeat winner, maybe a favorite. League Night in America, feeling victories all year long. Alt's second victory in 2025. And he was in contention for 4 of them.
Let her go.
We'll go ahead and talk to your race winner here in just a matter of moments. Area Cup Series, always exciting to go ahead and watch. And in this case for Dylan Hall, back in a place that he loves to be. That is victory lane. 3 wins on this YouTube channel. 1 coming from the 2.4 hours of Daytona in the next gen class. 2 coming here in the Area Cup Series. Dylan Hall, another victory in 2025 in a dominating fashion. Walk me through the end of this race.
The end of this race, all I was kind of focused on is just getting by the lap cars in a safe manner and also going for the 0x, the bonus point, and I ended up getting it. So very happy about that.
It was a perfect race. What did your streaming audience say?
Crickets. Honestly, crickets.
Why? Because you put them to sleep because of how good you were.
Yes, it was just...
Oh, man.
It was a fun race.
It really was. The big thing we saw, pit strategy. Now, I don't know if it was a white lie or you had a different strategy call maybe after we had the discussion. You said you were going to go long and then come to pit road. You went short. Why is that?
So I saw Clampit took tires, which I was very surprised about that. And yes, Clampit is very fast, but I didn't know how his race was looking like. I didn't know if he was in dirty air or what, but ended up noticing that he was running consistent 11s, like high 11s on newer tires. And I had somebody helping me that basically whenever I pitted the lap that I did, lap 24, I would have still been in front of Clampit. And I think if I was like around 2 seconds in front of him, he would be in my dirty air and he wouldn't be able to pass me even though he was probably 3/10 faster. We would end up battling there, so I kind of pitted early so I can stay in front of him and have him in dirty air and I'm in clean air. And I think I pitted at just the right time because I had Jeremy Miller right on my back bumper right out of pit road. And so I feel like I did a good strategy and everything worked out perfectly fine. And yeah.
Well, congratulations to that. What do you want to say to the viewers hanging out with us back at home?
Another crazy race. I don't really know what to say. It was a good race. I like road courses a lot. I know my home track is Sonoma, so I've done a lot of laps and races there. So I ended up just taking all that practice to this track, and yeah.
Fun indeed. Dylan Alt, congratulations on your win. We'll go ahead and continue to monitor and check in with other drivers. Let's start with Jake Matheson, Matheson P2. It's a great finish, but you really didn't have anything for Dylan Alt. What could you have changed?
I could have been a better driver. There was really not much touching Dylan. He's always so fast at these road courses, so whenever you see Dylan Alt in a race and you got to turn right, pretty much be betting on racing for P2. But yeah, he was really good. Overall, pretty good race. Had a couple little battles with Clampit, and I thought Skyler was catching me towards the end there, but things evened out pretty well. Seemed like it was a battle of strategies at the end, so glad the no tires worked out.
How do you build off this? P2, heading to a short track.
Just prepare, probably a snack, probably a soda or something, because we're gonna spend a lot of time under yellow. So.
Oh, really?
Hopefully we get some good racing in there. Wilkesboro's a pretty racy place, and if we got guys like Dylan, Scioli, John, Clampit, if we got guys like that in there, we're gonna have a brawl. So it should be fun.
All right, exciting things ahead for Jake Matheson and company. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And a good night to him as well. James Scioli, Solar Flare, you've been holding them on your back. Early on in the race, some expected it to get crazy to turn one. It was run on eggshells, and the strategy came, and then you were fighting for what could have almost been that second position after some mistakes of other drivers. Not a bad way to end tonight. How about it? Final 10 laps, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I'll definitely take it. This was, I think, my worst qualifying of the season, and it was fourth, so happy to be still qualifying up front, and I mean, finishing third is amazing. Got a little bit lucky with Clampit there at the end, wrecking, and then had a major code brown there on lap 30 or 44 with the lap car coming across the track. I was able to sneak through on the grass and the wall and make it, and Clampit unfortunately got destroyed behind me. So just kind of got a little bit lucky, but overall just happy with how I played the strategy. Just not quite fast enough in the next gen on the road courses yet, especially to hang with guys like Dylan, and J-Math and I were pretty even on speed, but obviously Dylan was gone. So just got to find a way to get a little bit more speed out of the car here. It's so much different than how the Cup car used to be and how the Xfinity and Truck are. This thing just, the tires don't wear out. The other series, it's all about babying it, trying to save the tires. This thing is just an all-out push and trying to avoid the dirty air. So just got to get a little bit better.
And you saw the push from Clampit, if I'm not mistaken. Where was the limit? Because it seemed like you guys were just barreling in and then just hoping that it wasn't going to just be a four-wheel drop and the car just sits the wrong way.
Yeah, it's almost kind of just send it and pray. I mean, you just kind of learn it in qualifying. You see where the limit is in qualifying and practice, and then in the race, it's just, I mean, you're pretty much just running the same lap times the whole race. You slow down a little bit from qualifying pace, but you're still pushing just as hard. So yeah, just honestly just kind of sending it, hoping that you hit the bumps right. This thing's really weird on some of the bumps. I saw Clampit make a couple mistakes, especially in the bus stop in front of me early on. I think Matheson went through it there at the end. So yeah, honestly, just sending it, trying to hit the bumps the right way, and hoping you don't slide.
Hoping you don't slide. How about it? P3, Wilkesboro. I just talked to Matheson. He said there's going to be a lot of cautions. Are you expecting that?
Unfortunately, I think so. The last time we were there, the setup was pretty sketchy, and just, I mean, the nature of short track racing on iRacing. I mean, you even see it in real life too, just a lot of contact, a lot of close quarters. The line that you have to run at Wilkesboro is different too, so not my best track. Just hoping to have another solid, clean day like I've been having, and just keep up front in the points.
Indeed. Congratulations on your strong finish. James Scioli finishing off here at Watkins Glen. Let's continue to go back and take a look at the results. Dylan Alt going to victory lane with an over 8-second advantage. Jake Matheson, James Scioli, John Hall, Connor Horn, Seth Knoll, Ricky Springer, Jake Nichols, and Michael Curran, with Travis Beckner being that top 10. On 11th, Matthew Bell, Josh Codle, Sam Brochu, Jeremy Miller, Frankie Barroso, Brandon Bowie, Logan Clampett, and Reese Schaefer. Lined up, Justin Opplinger, with Adam Cabot being in the top 20. Bailey Turner, Cosmin Yonashino, Philip Groner, Bryce Senesac, Hayden Swank, Jonathan Evans, Max Service, and Barrett Polimis with 28. Ben Pierce, Brett Punkari running out that top 30. While Garrett Grant, Tyler Nichols, Lee Norton, Ed Robertson, Patrick Moose, Jacob Brower, David Weishart, Tanner Betha, Connor Kresick, and Seth Berger saying hello to the top 14. 50. And yes, it was Blaze McKinney and Payton Howell lining up 41st and 42nd. Edward Shear Jr. and Brad Slaughter did not make it to the green flag. Up next, a week from today, well, area will be at North Wilkesboro Speedway, where it's going to be a complete change of pace of racing from what we saw today at Watkins Glen. The second race of 2025 to go caution-free. For the NR Night in America viewers, I'll see you in less than 24 hours for the Tuesday night edition of NR Night in America. I'm John Ramos. Hunter Sleppy was on pit road. Want to say thank you to everyone at Area for the production and the opportunity to stream the Monday night edition of League Night in America. And we say good night to everybody.